avenue, finding my way through.
Hey, Kandid land. Welcome to another episode of Kandid Conversations with Miss Crystal podcast. Hey, I really want to thank each and every one of you who have been supporting me on my journey. And big shout outs to Judge Erica Lee Williams. Girl, she motivated me. I don't know about you, but I'm still hearing her words in my head. And in case you missed last week's episode, first off, go back, check it out. Retired Jefferson County Judge Erica Lee Williams shared more with us about her heartbreaking decision to step down from the bench after 14 and a half years of service to the people. But she made that decision because, as you all were aware, that she battled leukemia. And so the doctors told her that all that stress wouldn't be good for her rehabilitation. So she stepped down from her position, and we talked about her new chapter in her life. And she talked about the importance of being present. And so the other day I was having dinner and we had told my daughter Arden that tablets are no longer welcomed at the table because, you know, she don't like to eat when she got a tablet at the table. But in that moment, I was like, you know what? The same should be said for phones too. So my husband and I, we put the phones away. We put on a little bit of soft jazz music. We had conversations and we were intentional about being present in the moment. And so that's what this platform is all about: informing, inspiring, and gathering community. So again, thank you so much, Judge. I definitely appreciated our conversation. All right. All the ladies come to the front. Again, happy Women's History Month. We're celebrating the sisters. And sis, we need to talk. It's about that time. The sun is shining, and you know what that means for us. It's braid season, right? And it's no secret that protective styles are a staple in our community. Braids, twists, locks. They're more than just a look, it's a lifestyle. But what if I told you that the very hair we're using to protect our crowns could actually be harming our health? Well, Consumer Reports just dropped a bombshell study revealing that some of our favorite synthetic braiding hair brands contain lead, cancer-causing chemicals, and other harmful toxins. And here is the kicker: there are no federal limits on lead in synthetic braiding hair. None. So while we are rocking these styles for a week at a time, we could also be exposing ourselves to long-term health risk. But you know what? That's why this platform exists, and I've got you, because today we're going to talk all about it. And we're breaking down this discussion with my very own hairstylist, Miss Taisha Williams. She's a professional hairstylist for more than 10 years. She's been in the game for more than a decade. And she's also the owner of Divinity Beauty School. We're talking about how we can protect our hair, we can protect ourselves, and what kind of alternatives exist. So without further ado, let's give her a warm, candid conversations. Welcome, Miss Taisha Williams. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. I called you, girl, when I caught wind of that article and kind of shocked. And so we're talking all about a study that was released linking synthetic braiding hair to cancer-causing chemicals and lead. And, you know, it is no secret, this time of year is when many of us as African-American women, we want to get our hair braided, right?
It's time to put it up.
Put it up. Taisha, real quick, tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
My name is Taisha. As Miss Crystal has just mentioned, I have been a master cosmetologist since 2014, so it's going on 11 years. That's so crazy to say out loud. I have been a salon owner of Hair's Angels Beauty Salon it'll be 9 years in May.
Oh,
and then my newest baby is Divinity School, Cosmetology School, which is right across the street. And we've been open for a little bit over a year now. We opened in November of 2023. So it's been a whirlwind of hair. I'm just loving
that. The tears are coming back because, y'all, she's being really humble. But Ty is a boss, okay? She is known in the community, around the city, in the hair game. She's an absolute boss. And she decided not to keep all of that talent of doing hair to
I can't
herself.
do that. It's not
That's
fair.
right. That's right. And she's pouring it out. And she opened Divinity Hair School. But let's get right to it.
Yes,
When you
ma'am.
first heard about this study linking synthetic braiding hair to lead and cancer-causing chemicals, what was your reaction?
My reaction, um, it's crazy what I'm about to say. I wasn't surprised. I
Really?
wasn't surprised because the chemical relaxer, which is for us, for the Black
Yes.
woman, that
Yes.
also has a lot of cancer things in it that are causes to cancer. So when I heard about these studies, I'm like, another thing that's just, just against us.
Against us.
I'm grateful that we always are able to think 2 steps ahead, meaning that when the studies came out for the cancer as far as the relaxer was concerned, we was already going natural. We wasn't worried about it anymore. And then as far as the braiding hair containing chemicals that may be cancer causing, I mean, we're not going to get around using braiding hair to a certain extent. Box braids and things of that nature do need them, but we have also got really good as far as taking care of our natural hair to where we don't need the extension as much as we used to. A lot of us are growing, really long hair. So that's one good thing. But all in all, if you're dealing with professionals, we're also familiar with detoxing the hair as well.
And as you're talking about it, I mean, growing up, I think I got my first relaxer when I was probably about 6 years old. And
I was 3.
Are you serious?
Just for me,
Oh,
3 years old.
I know, right? JUSTFR.
Yes.
But it's so funny to see how the evolution of Black hair, the evolution that it's taken. It was something to where everyone had relaxers, and then mid 2000s, maybe mid 2010s is when people really started backing up, rocking their natural hair. But now we are at another fork in the road. The very thing that gives us a break in the summertime, allows us to be able to swim and vacation and go to the gym without worrying about our hair. And now we have this coming up. And so we're going to talk all about it. A lot of women and young girls in particular, they get their hair braided, like we say, for convenience and protection, especially as we head into the summer, right? Especially as we head into the summer. But if these reports are true, are we actually putting our health at risk? What are your thoughts on that, Taisha?
For sure. I feel like we're definitely putting our health at risk when we are using, these braiding hairs. Nobody, to be all the way honest, nobody ever looks at the back of anything to check what ingredients are in them. We see it, we see that it's popular, and we're like, okay, it's a go. But I feel like it's our job as the professionals to also know and do our work and do our research periodically. I will be totally transparent and say I am no longer a braider, but I am connected to and work with a lot of braiders. So I hear about the different ways that, we can go about cleaning the hair before we use it. I have a 2-year-old, and there is a such thing as kid braiding hair as well these days,
And you told me that. I had no clue.
They do. The hair is like 10 times shorter. What I love about it is I know a couple of people, even myself, I can get irritable when it comes to the braiding hair. There's got to be the chemicals that's in it,
Yeah.
So the kids braiding hair already doesn't have as much. And then it makes you wonder, why use the chemicals on the hair anyway if you don't have to?
That's an interesting assertion as you talk about your daughter. Of course, I mean, growing up, that's what we all did. We all had our hair braided. And then in the summertime, most of us actually do get our hair braided. My daughter, her hair is braided right now. And right before this study came out, I was getting ready to make an appointment and be like, okay, I want to get my hair braided. But you're saying that there are alternatives, and we'll get more into that. But the study specifically mentions brands like Magic Fingers, Sensational, and Shake and Go. And these are some of the biggest names in synthetic hair. So do you think this will change how stylists approach braiding hair moving forward?
Absolutely. I feel like the fact that this study has came out alone is going to make us do the work. Every so often, things do change. So it's up to us as the professional to make sure that we are giving, top tier service. And the main concern when we're dealing with our clients is health and safety.
Yeah.
So it is important to check into these braiding hairs to make sure what's in this that is not in that.
Yeah.
You know, why do
Right.
I like this hair over that hair? And what
Right.
can I do to make things easier for my clients? Because I also know that a lot of times stylists might just tell their clients to bring their own braiding hair. But then you
Mm.
have professional stylists who
Mm-hmm.
actually make sure to include that in their service. If I'm
Mm.
including it in my service, I'm taking the extra step to make sure, one, the braiding hair is good for me to work with, and two, that it's
Yeah.
better for you. So
Right.
I think that it all boils down to, are you getting professional services? And with these professional services, we're doing the work for you versus
Mm.
having to do it on your own. You
And
know,
that, and that is
YouTube University is a thing. People will get on YouTube
right.
and, try to learn the things that they need to on their own. But at the end of the day, if you have a professional, then why not go that route?
Absolutely. And you said something that really made me think, why are they putting these chemicals in the hair? And I was
Mm-hmm.
shocked to find out that there are no federal limits on lead in braiding hair. So, what do you
Mm.
think needs to happen on the regulatory level to protect consumers? What do you think needs to happen?
Well, I think the first thing that needed to happen that did happen is the fact that they brought it to the surface,
There you
that they
go.
made us aware of it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, cigarettes cause cancer,
Mm-hmm.
yet people smoke them. So
Mm-hmm.
you're giving people the option to say, is this something that I want to put in my body?
Mm.
So as far as the braiding here, I definitely do think there needs to be stipulations on it, simply because if you're not even regulating how much is okay, then people can just be like pouring thousands of these cancer causing elements into the products that we're using daily. So
Right.
I do think that there needs to be something, like same way you have to get things FDA approved. Why
Come
not?
on.
Why are we not doing that with the hair?
Absolutely, especially when it seems to center around things that we utilize, as
We
Black, especially Black women with the whole
correct.
relaxers. But something interesting I spoke with you about earlier, though, a lot of people may say, well, it's braided, it's on top of my hair, it's not in my body. How is the lead or these cancerous carcinogens getting in when it's external? Tell them a little bit about how the scalp works.
Okay, well, the scalp, which is part of the skin, is the
Hmm.
biggest organ on the body.
Yeah.
Correct?
Hmm.
Okay, with this being the largest organ on the body, it is porous. Porous means the ability to absorb.
Mm.
That's the ability to absorb water, to absorb moisture, to absorb whatever it is that we touch. Correct?
Right.
Okay, so if I put lotion on my body, if I put lotion in my hand right now, the
Mm.
more that I work it in, what's going to happen? It's eventually
And
going to
absorb.
disappear.
Yeah.
It's going to absorb, correct?
Right.
So if I
Right.
have these braids that are laying up against my scalp with the
Mm.
different products that we're using, that's breaking down the properties and
Mm.
things of that nature, don't you think that we're going to naturally absorb them? They got to go somewhere, right?
Mm. That's
So, I mean, it
Lord. Come
makes
on,
common
teacher.
sense. It make
Come on, teacher.
it makes perfect sense that,
It
it is
does.
something that could possibly harm us. Like, I mean, that's like if I'm around bleach long enough, a lightener long enough, and I use it and don't protect myself accordingly, eventually I'm going to develop some type of allergy to it.
Wow. And reading the article, I mean, someone even mentioned how you can touch your hair and then not wash your hands and eat something and then you're ingesting
Correct.
it. So let's talk about options. Are there any safer alternatives to synthetic braiding hair? And what should women be looking for when they are going in the hair store choosing uh, for these protective hairstyles?
Okay, so that's two different questions that you asked. The first one is, what safer alternatives do we have?
Alternatives. Yeah.
Okay. So you have synthetic hair, then you have
Mm-hmm.
human hair. I'm going to be
Mm-hmm.
completely honest with you and tell you, even the
Please,
human
candid
hair is
conversation.
processed.
Mm-hmm.
The human hair is processed somehow, some way, but
Mm-hmm.
it's safer than the synthetic hair, correct? So we can
Mm.
start by possibly purchasing human hair to get our hair braided.
Mm.
That's going to
Yeah.
alleviate the irritation that a lot of us deal with anyways with the braids.
Yeah.
And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of women are actually leaning towards that, considering that like the boho styles that are out, like where you have the box braids and the curly hair.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to use no curly synthetic hair, so they're using the human hair anyway. So that's
Yeah.
already a great alternative, is to use human hair instead. The
Mm-hmm.
problem I see with that is you're already paying so much to get the braids, and
Girl,
then
what you
people
said,
aren't going
yeah.
to want to pay for the human hair. But in sewing world, it's running about the same price.
Yeah.
So if you really want to get technical, people got to start thinking about it in the sense of, this is a style that I'm going to get, and it's going to last me for months.
Mm-hmm.
you would
Yeah.
spend the same amount of money if you went to the salon every other week. So it kind of
Right.
balances out. You know, you just
Right.
got to make sure that it makes sense to the consumer. Okay.
Right.
So, you can also, another safer alternative is simply going to a professional who may be able to have hair on hand that's already been prepped and detoxed of the toxins. They got different, formulas
Mhm.
that you can use to, you know, rid the hair of all the different things that irritate the scalp, which I'm pretty sure have something to do with the cancer causing effects. So
Mhm.
I'm not completely sure if it's going to rid you of the lead and all the other things that are harmful to us, but it's a start.
What should women be looking for when choosing the hair, though? Like, say, for instance, okay, you gave the option, you can use human hair, you can let the
Mm-hmm.
stylist supply the hair, and then they can
Mm-hmm.
wash it or soak it before they apply it in your head. But
Mm-hmm.
if you want to go ahead and go to the beauty supply store, what other options? What other options are you thinking that women can go or
Um,
choose?
what, well, I would say there is a thing called canicoline. Canicoline is a synthetic form of hair. That's
Uh-huh.
the one that I would stay away from, point blank period, because nothing's
Yeah.
been done.
Yeah.
Um, but then you can go a step further with the pre-stretched hair, which is still could be harmful to the body, but
Mm-hmm.
it, at least you know it's been prepped some way, shape, or form. And again, to be all the way honest, anything you get over at the hair store, it's never gonna be good for you, considering that it's not for the professional. The
Right.
professionals, us professional stylists, we have a whole nother store that is nothing like
Mm-hmm.
the beauty supply store on every corner you see. Braiding
Mm.
hair doesn't really exist in the professional store, but education lies within the professional.
Mm.
So all I can tell you is you need to just be serviced by professionals. Which
I love
actually
it.
brings me to another point. If you would like for me to touch on it, I can, but I can wait it just in case you might ask me a different question later. So I don't
Girl, you just knocking these questions out left and right, and that's why she is the professional.
know.
But one of the options you talked about was purchasing human hair for
hmm
braiding.
hmm
How much more will we
You're
be
gonna be
shelling
spending
out?
at least. It depends on who it is, because
Yeah.
for a kid, you can get 10-inch, you know, hair that's
Mm-hmm.
gonna get about. But then when you go into the girls who, when you're dealing with girls who want, you know, braids down to their waist or to the back
Yeah.
of their calf muscle, because you know girls go that long with the braids.
Mm-hmm. My dog, yeah, I
You're
got a
gonna get
20-year-old
up
that
in
loves
there.
it.
You're gonna spend some money. Okay.
Yeah.
So I didn't tell you all that earlier when speaking of my credentials, but I also sell hair. I sell hair extensions as well. I sell track hair. I sell tape hair. I sell clip-ins. So it would be nothing for me to like connect with my vendor and go ahead and get the braiding hair at a retail price. I mean, at a
Yeah.
wholesale price, and then be able
Yeah.
to retail it. But it would be expensive. You're looking at least, if your box braids is already costing you about $250, you're going to end up spending about $200 plus on human hair. But
Mm.
at least you know you're safe.
Peace of mind, though, right? How much
Yeah.
are you
Peace of
willing
mind.
to pay for peace of mind? And what about, okay, because you being the professional, but there are
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people that have braid shops, and you kind
Mm-hmm.
of know the difference. Like when you go to a salon, they're going to
Yes.
wash your hair and do all that. But when you go to the braiding shops, all they are authorized to do is just braid your hair.
Do your
What
hair.
about buying the hair and soaking it yourself? Is that is that a
Yes.
safe option?
Yes.
And what can
I
you
mean,
soak it in?
apple cider vinegar is one thing that I know for sure that my braiders in my salon use whenever they're doing any type of detox. So I
Mm-hmm.
know that ingredient alone, apple cider vinegars, baking sodas, things of that nature already start the detox process of ridding chemicals and toxins that should not be in the hair and
Yeah.
even in locks. Because if we're speaking on synthetic hair for braids, you got to throw locks in there too. You know,
Really? So do you put
we're using,
synthetic hair in the locks? Is that part of the
yes,
process, or is it like the starter
correct.
locks? Break it down for
Yes.
me.
Well, not in actual like natural hair locks,
Mm-hmm.
but you know like how girls
The
get the
faux locks.
boho lock looks,
Yeah.
you know, or
Yeah.
the faux locks or
Yeah.
the crochet locks, or
Mm-hmm.
we got to put all of that in that category. Because if you're
That's
saying
right.
synthetic hair, it's in the braiding hair, it's gonna be it gets deeper than that. They just said the braiding hair, that's to scare y'all, but y'all still haven't thought about the girls is getting the crochets. You're not thinking about the girls who are wearing the faux
It's
locks. All of that
everything.
goes in the, yes,
Right.
that's I mean, we just back to square one again. The black woman never wins, huh?
Right.
And
I
you know
mean,
we
girl,
are big on
this
our
is
hair.
really, girl, listen. first off, as I was thinking about this, I said, who is closer to you ladies other than your husband and your kids than your
Your beauty salon.
hairdresser? And so this
Yes.
really is a candid, intimate conversation. And just
Mm-hmm.
appreciate Ty so much for dropping this knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And we're trying to be a little bit solution based as well. So let me ask you this question. If someone came to you today and was worried about using synthetic hair, what would your professional advice be? I guess what you've been telling us. Or if they've already
I would
purchased the
say,
hair.
if they've already purchased the hair, I would say, there are stylists who do this as a service of
Yeah.
washing and prepping the hair prior to your install. Even if they aren't the ones who are doing it, then they can, you know?
Yeah.
I teach a course in my salon, in my school, just the basic shampoo stylist course, which I feel that was put into place in our state to cover the braiders, because we have all of these girls who are braiding at home or braiding in these shops and things of that nature. Y'all not educated. So they're not first and foremost taking care of the real hair, let alone the synthetic hair that they're putting in the hair. So by coming to school, you will actually learn and be able to understand and appreciate being educated and being professional, so that you can take it a step further with not only making your clients look good, but feel good and make sure their health is intact. They're able to go through the different treatments that we offer for the scalp, for the hair, for the hair extensions. That's a whole service in itself, you know?
Right.
That's a whole service.
Right.
So you can, if you want to still, you don't want to pay to get it done, but you don't want to clean the hair yourself. There's people for everything. The right amount of money
That's a good
will make
option.
things make sense.
That's an interesting thing, though. A lot of people, when I was looking at the comments section of this article, a lot of women were like, oh my goodness, this makes sense. This is probably the reason why I've had irritation in my scalp, or this is probably the reason why the itchiness that I've been having. Is that what you were thinking about?
That's me. That's literally me. That's something I've experienced, because that's why I don't get box braids. I want them so bad. It would be so convenient for my life if I could just get something done to my hair where I don't have to deal with it. Oh my God. But I don't want to sit there, let's be real, and get it done. And two, they're not going to last. I'm taking them out. I have to take them out. I'm irritated. I can't do it. It makes sense. It makes sense.
Y'all, this is an interesting conversation. I know all y'all gonna be talking about it. For those that, because Candid Land is composed of people from all nationalities, all backgrounds, black, white, red, yellow, everybody. So tell them why braids are so important to us. Why do we love our braids?
Braids are so important because anybody that has kinky curly hair, or even just curly hair, period, natural hair, it is a lot to manage. Let's start there. It's a lot to manage, and you can be beautiful right now, and the rain comes and boom, there goes your day. Okay, we got to get up extra early so we can make sure that our hair is intact. You know, they're beautiful. Like they're so beautiful to me. Like I'm gonna make that a statement right there in itself. The braids are beautiful, and they're getting more and more beautiful as we're adding the different spins on them. You know, I remember when they first came back out, and I was like, oh my God, like I never thought I was gonna get to live in this era, because my mama got to have the box braids. For a second, we were straight hair girls, kinky curly hair, natural hair. We can straighten it from time to time. But the true beauty lies within the curls. And those braids protect those curls.
Absolutely. And I'm thinking about when you're talking about your mom getting a chance to, experience the braid days. Janet Jackson back in the early 90s, Poetic Justice, when she rocked it, honey, everybody started getting the braids. And it was cool to see that style come back. Real quick, though, what braid style is trending this year? What braid styles are really popular?
The boho braids are still like, they're eating the girls up. That's what they say. My students be saying they ate them up. I'm like, okay. The boho braids are definitely a look. And then you can never go wrong with a freestyle feed-in. That's my go-to. A freestyle feed-ins, they're usually more to the back, may have a cute little design or something in them. I'm not really a crazy baby hair girl, but I do like a couple of little baby hairs just to add a little razzle dazzle to it. So, yes, I do. I love my braids, especially when we're going on like a vacation.
Girl.
And you're going to be swimming,
or
you know you're just going to be getting up and going. Who wants to deal with the headache of dealing with I don't even want to deal with weave
Come on.
on a vacation. I just want to just get up and go. Put it up in the bun.
Get up and go.
Let's go.
Right. Let me tell you, last year, I was just like, oh my gosh, the industry has changed so much. My girl, Alexis Matthews, Carrie Grace, both from WLKY, when they busted out their braids on
With
air.
their braids on air.
Tawana Andrews from Wave,
Yes.
the meteorologist, the Black meteorologist girl, when she busted out her braids.
Yes.
And my girl Marissa there at Wave. I was
Mhm.
like, man, I'm about to jump on this braid bandwagon.
Yes.
But it was so refreshing to see our culturally styles represented on
Yes.
a big platform like that, like very well accepted, and
That's what I was going to say. Represented and accepted, because in the
Yes.
past it was the idea of, is this okay?
Not professional,
Am
right.
am I professional? Is this considered
Absolutely.
professional? But today, yes, ma'am, it most certainly is.
Absolutely.
It
And
is.
thank you for the Crown Act, who prohibits people
Absolutely.
discriminating for, our different hairstyles. And we definitely appreciate it. All right.
For
So
sure.
let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about Ty's journey, because you are a beauty boss. You definitely are.
like that.
So tell us a little bit more about Divinity Beauty School and how that all came to be.
Divinity has been open since November of 2023. I started out with 2 students.
Yeah.
I was the lead teacher. I had a teacher that came in every so often to help, as far as leading theory class. But for the most part, I was there every day, 9 to 4:30, Tuesday through Saturday. Just myself and 2 students. Fast forward to today, it is 11 girls in there, myself and another instructor. And when I tell you
Hold on,
we
girl,
are
I gotta-
outgrowing our space already, I get overwhelmed.
Hold on, I got turned up the applause though. Y'all, because y'all don't understand that this has been a
I get
labor of
overwhelmed with
love for
joy.
Taisha. It's not been easy, but it's something that
It
you felt
hasn't at
called to
all.
do.
Absolutely, I do.
What was the
and
vision behind all of this?
Well, to be all the way honest, I have been graduated from hair school since 2014. And my instructors back then used to say, "Are you going to come back and teach?" And I used to be like, "It is so catty in here. I could never. Nope, not doing it. I don't like school. I don't want to read. I'm good at it, but this is nothing I care to do." But then I just realized, like with my salon, like I just naturally was teaching my stylist sisters, And then I started teaching classes that I specialized in, and realized, I do this. And so my mentor, she was on me for like 3 years. You need to open a school. You need to open a school. They need you. You need to open. And I'm like, girl, I'm in my prime. I'm not worried about no school. But then I had a baby.
Yeah.
And I realized I got to do more than stand behind this chair for the rest of my life. How can I make sure that this community not only gets stylists like me that are skilled as me, but make sure they got top-notch education, that they're getting things that I know for a fact I didn't get when I was in school. And I dropped little gems along the way, I just said yes. My God finally said it's time, and I just said yes.
Well, you guys, we had such an incredible conversation with Miss Taisha Williams, owner of Divinity Beauty School. I tell you, she's doing some amazing things in our community, and big shout outs to the Newburgh area, because that's where she's located. If you're interested in learning more or dropping by Divinity Beauty School to get your hair service, Divinity Beauty School is located at 3207 East Indian Trail, and you can also give them a call, 502-501-4042. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to host this conversation with us. And as Ty said, there's different options, what you can do. You can soak the hair, you can take it to a professional, or you can pay a little bit more to get your hands on some of that human hair. Listen, if this episode has taught you anything, it shows that we have to be intentional about what we put on our bodies just as much as we are intentional about what we put in them. And our hair is our crown, and we deserve products that don't come with hidden dangers. That's why platforms like this are so important, because if we don't talk about it, who will? But Kandid Land, I've got you. Thank you so much for your love and support. Thank you for your words of encouragement. Thank you for supporting the podcast. Thank you for sharing it. And do me a favor, if you're on Facebook, give this episode a like, give my page a like, and share it, okay? If you're watching on YouTube, like the broadcast. Also, subscribe to my page, all right? Hey, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and let's do this again next week. Same time, same place. Keep it candid. Bye.
I reach for an